So there are some other polishing touches you can put on this house without changing its overall footprint. And one of my favorites is to round off these corners here. I have pulled this in, pushed it in. It used to be out here, and I just brought it in a little bit. It just seemed like I'd made it maybe a little bit thick, right? And now I've got all of this. And I don't want this to be in closer because that trim should be the same all the way around. So what can you do here? Well, I'm going to use a tool we haven't used yet called the Arc tool. So pressing A for arc, I'm going to click right there where they come together, this endpoint. And I want to make an arc around there, and they are really good about showing us when it's perfectly symmetrical. It says tangent at the vertex. That little black line goes straight to the corner. Double click on it, and then how do I get rid of this corner? With a push. We're going to deselect, because right now it's only going to push the one that's selected. Clicking somewhere else, P for push, and I'm just going to bring this down until it gets to the other face. When you click, it actually disappears. Once it's coplanar with the bottom, it disappears. Now this line can't be gotten rid of. This is curved. There's no more push pulling on it, and this is a flat one. So where those two come together, we can see that line, and if you were to try and get rid of it, it no longer creates this face. Now when that happens, if you can't Control Z undo, you can redraw the line that made that face to begin with a lot of times. Let me see if I can make that happen. So, spacebar L line tool. Nope. So it can be a little tricky. That's why you want to notice these things right away. Try one more time. No, it's not doing it. So some things are very hard to repair. So what do? Control Z undo and just do the opposite of deleting. We're just going to hide it. So we're going to push that down, and instead of erasing this line, we're going to shift. Notice it looks like a closed eye, and just go over it like that. Now if it's color that's painted, it's no problem. If you use a texture, sometimes you will see that line, but it gives it a nice rounded look right there. Let's do that again. A for arc, click at the vertice there, and double click when it's pink, push that down, and if you want to, shift and hide that line. Let's do it to our window here. You can't draw that arc on this because that is on the outside of the group. We did add an arc line, but it does not affect the window because the window is inside a special group called a component, of course. So double click on a group and it will isolate it. Now anything we do will happen to the window. I'm going to use the arc tool again, and I'm going to reference right here. Rather than measure exactly how far that is, I'm just going to use something that's already there. Click once, go to this edge, it'll help me find it, and then push it in. Again, you can hide those or leave them. It's up to you. A arc tool reference. I lost it, so come back. There we go. And then P to push pull that all the way over. So it gives your window a rounded look to it, and careful not to try and erase that line because we weren't inside the window. And of course you can't erase. Again, shift erase can get rid of those unsightly lines if you really feel the need to do that. Notice all the orbiting and panning and zooming that I'm doing. Get closer when you're having some trouble. Just get closer to it because it's just that easy. Now notice all the windows, even the ones that we resize, now have these curved corners. However, it doesn't look quite the same if it's been resized. If it's no longer the same proportions as what it was before, it kind of looks a little funny there. So if you wanted that to be unique, you would then have to paint all of those. But especially for these that are more the same proportions, they actually look pretty good. And I can go over here, and I can do it to this window. Here, tangent to the edge, push, arc reference, come over here. And now all four corners of it have been done, because it doesn't matter which copy of the component you work on, it happens to all of them. So you can find a few more places where you can do that if you like, and you can use other methods to round things off. But that's one use of the arc tool, working inside of a group, and the power of the components, as well as hiding a line that you really just don't want to see.